Hi viewers, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. Wait, these lines don't really apply to people living in Hyderabad because in just a few days, they're going to face a lot of difficulties. What was once a casual complaint about traffic in Hyderabad is now going to turn into a serious struggle to even breathe. Soon, it will be hard to find clean oxygen in this city. Until now, a 400-acre forest has been giving fresh air to lakhs of people. And now, the Telangana government is destroying it with bulldozers. This video was taken on March 30th inside Hyderabad Central University. The government is cutting down all the trees with machines. Those aren't just bird calls you hear in the video. Those are their cries. For the past few days, HCU students have been protesting to stop this tragedy. But instead of justice, they've received jail time. Sure, getting arrested while protesting for a good cause isn't new. But usually, the government steps in and at least listens. We've seen that happen before too. But not this time. Just look at how the government is treating these students. All of this for what? To protect nature. To save animals so that people can breathe clean air. And now look at what the Chief Minister of Telangana, Revanth Reddy, is saying about them in the assembly session.
కేటాయించి అక్కడ ఐటీ కంపెనీలు ఇతర పరిశ్రమలు రావడానికి అవసరమైన లేఅవుట్ చేయండి అని చెప్పి ఈ రోజు ఒక అభివృద్ధి కోసము ఒక కాంక్రీట్ ప్రపోజల్ తో ముందుకు వస్తే ఈ రోజు అక్కడ ఏదో రిజర్వ్ ఫారెస్ట్ ఉన్నట్టు రిజర్వ్ ఫారెస్ట్ లో అత్యంత ఏమంటారు జీవరాశులు ఉన్నట్టు జింకలు పులులు సింహాలన్నీ ఆనే ఉన్నాయి అన్నట్టు జింకలు పులులు సింహాలు లేవు అధ్యక్ష ఆ చుట్టుముట్టుతో కొన్ని గుంటనక్కలు చేరి ఇట్లా వ్యవహరిస్తున్నాయి అధ్యక్ష.
What do you think after hearing that? The 400 acres of land in question. It belongs to the university, right? But the government says no. From the beginning, this land has been registered under the Telangana government, not the university. So why are the students protesting? Why are they showing the government as the villain? What is the actual history of HCU? Let's understand all of this in this video. Hyderabad is speeding ahead in terms of development, but falling behind when it comes to pollution control. In 2024, the city's air quality index, AQI, reached 171. Keep in mind, even 100 is considered unsafe. Imagine the level of pollution we're talking about. Despite all this, people in Hyderabad are still able to breathe. That's because of two major green lungs, KBR Park, 390 acres, and Hyderabad Central University Forest, 1,585 acres. Established in 1974 through a bill passed in Parliament, HCU is one of India's earliest central universities. Today, it has over 5,000 students and nearly 400 faculty members. But this is more than just a university, it's a natural research center filled with hundreds of trees, small lakes, rocks and hills. It's home to spotted deer, wild boars, star tortoises, pythons, cobras and peacocks. Just look at this beautiful nature. In a few days, you won't see this again because the Telangana government plans to build an IT park right there. Anyone who truly loves nature can't bear to see these trees fall. If you really care about the environment, you'll make choices that protect it. And that's exactly what happened in 1996 to 98. Back then, the government planned to build an Urdu university on this land. But the Human Resources Minister at the time, S.R. Bommai, visited the HCU campus and listened to the Vice Chancellor. He realized that if they built there, many trees would be destroyed and thousands of animals would lose their habitat. So, out of love for nature and a sense of social responsibility, he cancelled the plan. That same HCU is now being destroyed by bulldozers, all in the name of development. These 400 acres are home to over 734 trees, 220 bird species, deer, wild boars, snakes, and even our national bird, the peacock. Yes, the cries you heard at the beginning of the video were from our national birds. Still, the government is unmoved. Here's something else we need to think about. If the government takes these 400 acres, what's to stop them from taking the remaining 1100 acres in the future? Because between 1987 and 2010, the government took multiple chunks of HCU land for various reasons. If students don't raise their voices now, soon this university will be nothing more than a few buildings and not a single tree in sight. This issue is about the very existence of HCU. So if the Telangana government is trying so hard to grab this land, what is the judiciary doing? Unfortunately, nothing. Why? Because the land is legally under the government's name. Normally, university lands are registered under the university's name. But this is an exception. Let's understand why. After independence, the Nizam state and Andhra state were separate. Later, they merged into one state. At that time, there were special mulki rules in Hyderabad, which gave job and education reservations only to locals. This upset people from Costa and Rayalaseema, who said, in a united state, opportunities should be equal for all. To balance both sides, Indira Gandhi scrapped mulki rules. That triggered the first Telangana movement. Then the Supreme Court reinstated mulki rules, which angered the Andhra and Rayalaseema people, sparking the Jai Andhra movement. To keep the peace, the 6-point formula was introduced, aimed at uniting all regions. As part of this, Hyderabad Central University was created, but there was one small mistake. The land was never registered under the university's name. It remained under the state government's name. Maybe they didn't think it was important back then, but now, that oversight is costing the university 810 acres and may soon cost another 400 acres. Some people might say, okay, the land may not be in HCU's name, but what's the problem with using it for development? Here's the issue. There is clear documentation stating that the land can only be used for academic purposes, not for IT parks and definitely not for private projects. Even the Telangana government knows this. That's why they began clearing the forest secretly during Ugadi and Ramzan, hoping there would be fewer students on campus. In response, HCU released a statement saying, these lands cannot be sold to anyone without approval from the executive committee. Another important voice in this issue is Nag Ashwin, director of Kalki. He said, if you want to build an IT corridor, find another space. Why destroy 400 acres of forest? And there's a legal history behind this too. In 2003, a tripartite agreement was signed between IMG Academies, the Andhra Pradesh government and HCU. The idea was IMG would take 400 acres of HCU land and in exchange give back 400 acres elsewhere. Later, when Y.S. Rajasekhara Reddy became chief minister, he cancelled the deal. IMG sued, claiming the 400 acres belonged to them. The case dragged on through state bifurcation and political changes. Now, under the Congress government, Telangana has won back the 400 acres in court. That's good, right? Except, instead of returning the land to HCU, the government is keeping it for its own projects. They say, if we leave the land unused, some private company will grab it again. So now, the government wants to use it themselves. But if they really want justice for HCU, they should register this land under HCU's name. Only then will the students, citizens, and nature truly benefit. Save trees, save earth. Jai Hind!